Welcome back, friends. We've had a good amount of success so far in our 2025 CampVue Northern Tour. With Glacier and Yellowstone National Parks behind us, it is time to head to our next big goal, Grand Teton National Park. You can see my campsite here, Site 68 in Canyon Campground is now vacant and everything is picked up. The warm fire that we made a couple nights has been burnt and doused, and we're about ready to depart. I'm gonna tell you the truth here. It got cold last night, almost pushing the limits of what I packed. My sleeping bag is rated for basically the lowest temp. It got the job done with an extra blanket, but I think this is probably the pinnacle of coolness because we're at a higher elevation up here in Yellowstone. But it got into the 30s, not to the freezing point. I would say the upper 30s, and it's probably about 44, something like that right now. And that was the hard thing getting started this morning, was facing the cold. But I did it. And here you can see others are getting packed up this morning also. But it's about high time that we hit the road. I have a busy day, and I'll explain what we're doing on the way. All right, Canyon Campground, you served me well. I enjoyed my stay here. I would stay here again, and I would recommend it, especially if you're looking for kind of an easier time with access to lots of services, dining options, whatnot. Even though, I don't know if we're gonna put the clip in there. I was complaining yesterday about Xanterra and one of the facilities in there and the lack of service. I was grumpy about it, and as I had a right to be, but you know, so I don't want to be the type of influencer that just blows rainbows and everything when it's not always perfect. But so there was that, but other than that, everything was beautiful. Everything was awesome. I had a great time, and that did not sour my experience. I just basically pivoted and made dinner here at the campsite, which I should have done anyway, since I'm on a budget. So, but anyway, we're about to leave. I have to throw this, I guess this thing here, they want this in the checkout box. So what I'm gonna do is go, I guess, officially check out by dropping that off. And then I'm gonna go across the street and look for a bite to eat really quick. I'm about an hour behind schedule, by the way, also. It's actually almost 9 o'clock, even though in these woods it looks a lot earlier. And that was intentional. I thought it through. Started thinking about it last night. I knew how cold it was gonna get again, and I knew how it's hard to get started in the morning, but then I thought about my itinerary today and how I'd actually benefit by delaying. About an hour would be the perfect delay, and once I drop this cart off and go across the street, I'll explain what I'm doing and why I did that. If you haven't guessed, it has to do with CampVue and a campground, some major campground drive-thrus today. Maybe, I would say maybe today is the biggest campground drive-through day of the entire trip. And once I get that done, I'm not out of the woods by any means, but I would say the high-stress drive-thrus will be done. Look at this, there's nobody here. If you want to do laundry or showers, now's the time. Although I will say, the laundry was never crowded, ever. And they've got so many machines in here, it's ridiculous. I couldn't imagine it ever filling up. And then the showers also are just huge. They've got so many different stalls in there that I've never seen a line. Everybody just goes straight in and finds a shower. So another really big bonus for this campground. I've never seen it like that. I guess that's what you get with a private campground as opposed to the NPS managed ones. All right, I handed my checkout card to a gentleman, the same guy that checked me in. He was very nice. I couldn't find the checkout box. There's a couple boxes there, but none that say checkout. But he says, I'm the checkout box. I said, okay, here you go. But anyway, bye-bye Canyon Campground. It's been an awesome stay. I actually had more fun in Yellowstone this time around, even though I was doing campground drive-thrus. And we just kind of did a section of the park that some might, I guess arguably isn't the most exciting. It's lacking in the geothermal and hydrothermal features. But still, it was just a lot more an easy pace. no people to deal with, no crowds to deal with. And it was beautiful. The whole ride was beautiful, and that would have been last week's video. So we're heading south, technically homeward bound every day, or every time I pack up and move. I take it one step closer, even though I don't even know what day it is anymore. Probably about halfway through the trip, I think, is where I think my wife and I decided I'm about at. I can't believe I'm only halfway. But anyway, today is going to be a different approach to how I'm going to do this, because these are really important campgrounds that I need to film. I've got one more in Yellowstone. I think Lewis Lake is officially in Yellowstone, near Grand Teton. Then I cross over, and then I've got Coulter Bay, which is a giant one. So that one I gave myself a lot of time to do. And then of course we head to my campground, where that one's a pretty sizable one too. So I have to set up camp, but I also need to do a campground drive-through of that one also. So once I get all that done, I'll be feeling good. So rather than film a lot, like the drive down there, too much, I'm thinking of just kind of focusing on that, knocking it out, and then maybe resuming with you guys for the bulk of the episode anyway, when we get further down. And I just remembered I didn't buy ice. I imagine the ice is still doing well with as cold as it's been, so there'll be more opportunities to buy ice though. I think we may have spotted a traffic jam here, a Yellowstone traffic jam. My guess is bison. Sometimes you can film them crossing the river, which I did once actually. Get in your lane, people, get in your lanes. Trying to see if I could see what the hubbub is about here. I don't see a dang thing. I don't see a dang thing. I don't think this qualifies as a true Yellowstone traffic jam though, because nobody's parked in the road. Ah, there's something up there on top of that hill. See that? Whatever's going on is up on that hill, and we can't see it from here. Yeah, this is a good old-fashioned Yellowstone traffic jam, I think, but not as bad. There's enough places for people to pull over here where they're not on the road that I can see yet. So we go down further this way where all the action is. Maybe there is, though. Oh, I see. There's a bison up on the hillside to the right, a single bison. So the people are kind of looking at that. They need to go over by Slough Creek if they want to see bison in a much less congested way. People go cuckoo for their bison though. At least we got to see something, and there are more bison I could see. Oh yeah, there's like some steam vents, and I see a small herd of bison off to the left. Actually a pretty big herd. See, these people got the right idea. This one's not as crowded, but there's rangers there. I guess they're getting ready to manage more traffic. Wow, yeah, it's pretty cool. I wish I could show you, but there's no way I'm stopping. Forget about it. Like, we're up on a hill looking down on a bunch of bison. They're pretty far off, so not brown specks, but you know, you can't really make out a lot of the detail. I've seen better. Yesterday we saw better. I shouldn't give away all the secrets, huh? Where to go see that. I got to hang out with a baby, and I assume it's mother or a bull. I don't know. I can't tell. Like the females and the males, some of the males I think I know for sure are males, but other times I'm not so sure. Fun fact, both male and female bison have horns. Females tend to have thinner horns in a C shape. Males have thicker horns that are not as curved and more vertical. Now you know. So here's some, we've seen this before in the past, Sulphur Canyon. You could see some steam rising up from the geothermal feature or hydrothermal feature. This is the blow-by tour. And what's going on here? Now we have a real traffic jam. Oh, there's a bison right there. See, who needs to get out of their vehicle? That's one of the tour buses up there, stopped in the middle of the road, I think. They should know better than that, shouldn't they? That's not really cool. Somebody give a little tap on your horn. I don't want to be that guy. That yellow, I think that yellow classic thing is like a shuttle. I don't know if it's an official national park shuttle. I've seen a couple. Glacier had something similar. But we've seen so many of these dang things, it's like whatever. I think the motorcyclers are the same, like, dude, we've seen like hundreds of them. We do want to go slow and carefully, but I think that's a male. The mud volcano, that's another thing we saw. There's some cool things here in this area, and I guess, I don't know if we want to go back and try to find footage. It might be easier said than done, but you can see the hydrothermal features here too, the steam rising up, so we're definitely getting into the, like, maybe the heart of what people think about Yellowstone, where you have all of those there's another bison up there. They're everywhere over here. Okay, so now I'm going to, we're about 30 miles away, 42 minutes to Lewis Lake Campground, which I want to say is kind of near, it's like on the very southern side of Yellowstone. Almost said Yosemite, caught myself. And it's very near, like, I think where Grand Teton starts. So when we get down there, we're basically almost at Grand Teton, where we're going to be now for the next, I think, 4 days. I'm going to be in Grand Teton, and that's mainly because of these like campgrounds that are there. And we're knocking out some of the big ones today, but it's not the only big ones. I'm going to be staying at one of the big ones towards the tail end for a couple days, but it just was to ensure that I have a no-fail scenario to get these campgrounds and backup if I need it. If there's a weather delay, whatever. Or if I have like a Slough Creek campground host situation where someone denies me access to drive-ins. I don't know why they would in these campgrounds. They're paved, so. And I don't think they even they don't have like, I don't remember them having a check-in like where you need to go through a gate or anything either. But you never know. And I wanted to make some videos down here, but not your typical Grand Teton type stuff. I actually got a couple offline maps in some of the surrounding national forest land that borders Grand Teton National Park, hoping we can find areas where I can get the drone up in the air legally and see the beautiful mountains and get some good aerial footage, but also exploring the, you know, a little bit more of the backcountry, I guess, if you want. I wouldn't know if I go so far to say backcountry, but some dirt roads, off the beaten path, maybe better chances of seeing wildlife, like my grizzly bear, black bear would be cool. And here's, I think this is that really large Yellowstone Lake, almost positive. And I think I even see the island out there. There's a story once, and I was pondering kayaking across to it, and opted not to, thinking that would be dangerous, and other people confirmed, yeah, it would be really dangerous out on these waters, especially if the wind starts to pick up, especially in an inflatable angler's kayak. I could have a real problem and a bad day, so I decided not to. But there's a historic island in the middle of here where I talked about it before. This kind of rotten guy would take bison and wild animals and bring them out. It's kind of cruel, to this small island for people to go see, and there's actually a sunken ship from the era, I think it was late 1800s, early 1900s or something, that a wreck out there you could find, and that's what I wanted to go see, but I said, nah, I'd probably die. Alright, and I guess from here, I'm just gonna now it's not altogether that interesting at the moment, so I'm gonna take it easy with the filming, conserve my card space, batteries, blah blah blah, and we'll check in when we check in. It might be 5 minutes from now, it might be hours from now, I don't know. So I know the old saying, you can please some of the people some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time, or something along those lines. That's just life, and certainly a reality on YouTube. But I'm curious, like, now that we're probably about halfway through this whole series, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm trying to take a slightly different approach than the norm. I've been essentially trying to document my entire day, you know, from when I leave the campground in the morning, whether I'm packing up to head somewhere new, you know, and then I arrive at my destination and show you that, and, you know, everything in between, with kind of a very loose, you know, well, I have an itinerary, but kind of more of a loose, unrehearsed, you know, not researched, you know, as evidenced by some of the ghost towns we went to. I didn't have as much to say as usual. But I wonder if, like, on YouTube, I think people like that better. I'm convinced that's what people are looking for in YouTube, is maybe a little bit more of the personal aspect. Wow, it's a big lake. Than, you know, trying to be more documentary and fact-based and stuff. So anyway, I'm just curious what you guys think about this format. Some of you might even say, oh, to me it's just more of the same, which is fair. You know, there's always been an element of it. I feel a little bit different doing it, though, is why I say. But yeah, comment and let us know if just hanging out with me on these days where I definitely ramble, I definitely have much less to say that's intelligent. And we're just going with the flow. I just wonder, is that a thing that people enjoy? I enjoy watching others do that. Is it a traffic jam? What is it? Why is everybody all in a tizzy here? Yeah, I think now we have kind of a proper traffic jam. I'm confused what everybody's doing here. All right, so there you go. This is a traffic jam scenario. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, people. Jeez Louise. It's an elk. Like right off the side of the road, so that's what everybody is pulled over for, is a single elk. Where I come from, we see go to the south rim of the Grand Canyon, you'll see elk galore. You'll see them drinking out of the utility sinks. So to me, that's nothing. I've seen a million of those too. I'm right now just passing where I'm staying for the night. That was Headwaters at Flagg Ranch. So I guess we're not even inside the national park then. We're kind of in between the two parks where I'm staying tonight. Although it's listed as one of the Grand Teton campgrounds on recreation.gov. That's where I booked my reservation. It's kind of interesting. I never realized that, but wanted to capture. You could see the bare peaks and glaciers and snow dotting the Grand Tetons. I think straight ahead, they're going to be a centerpiece in our adventures in the next couple days. And we're, I think, mainly in national forest land, and probably some of these gravel roads back here, forest roads, are where we're going to be doing some of our videos. So I'm kind of pleased you could see the mountains. So if we get good views at times from the national forest and can get the drone up legally, then we'll get some really sweet footage, I think. One of the dirt roads goes like that way off into the wilderness, I think along a river too. And I do have a Wyoming state fishing license for the days that I'm here, so I can actually cast into the waters and continue my fishing endeavors and training, we'll say. But I'm skipping over all of that. It's still not even noon yet, so my check-in time hasn't happened yet, and I'm gonna make a beeline for Coulter Bay Campground next, which is I think the biggest campground on my northern tour by far, way over 300 sites. even bigger than Mather Campground in south rim of the Grand Canyon, which has been the mammoth campground to date. Now we have a new leader for quantity. So there's the sign for Grand Teton National Park right there. We're doing a drive-by. There's no way that I'm gonna be going in there. Make up your minds, make up your mind. All right. Oh, I can't wait to get this campground business done, man. I'm excited that I'm doing it, but I just really don't like doing it. The actual drive-throughs, ironically. You'd think it's, you know, I've talked about it before, it's you just sit on your butt in the climate control of your truck doing it, but they're just kind of tedious and long and not as easy to do as you think when you want to maintain a nice constant speed and not go too fast. All right, I just finished my Coulter Bay drive-through. That's probably an hour it took. And it went really smooth except for the last loop, well, the last couple loops. One of the GoPros, like one of the brand new ones that I just bought, like the Bluetooth connectivity gets really screwed up sometimes, and like I think everything worked out. I previewed footage and looked at it, but I'm really not gonna know for sure until tonight. So if there's a problem, I might have to come and redo stuff, which would make me, like, my head explode. I don't think I will, though. I think it worked, but yeah, towards the end there, man, GoPro pisses me off. I'm sorry to use that language, but there's always so many issues like that. It just can't work consistently. I hope somebody from GoPro hears this. Like, why do you guys have so many issues? Like, it never gets better. I keep buying newer models and it's the same old you know what every single time, especially when you're using this app to control stuff. You'll lose connectivity and then you'll have a camera stuck in record mode and you can't do anything about it. You got to get out of the vehicle, manually turn it off, and then that doesn't fix it sometimes. Then you got to, like, take the battery out completely and put it back in to kind of reset things. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just, as a software engineer, it's inexcusable to have something that inconsistent, in my opinion. So, and I make mistakes too, but come on, man. Someone from GoPro, please explain to me, like, what's the issue? Why does this keep happening? Ah! There is food over there, a food court, a cafe court or something. So it's 1 o'clock. I might actually just go hop over there and just cool off at this point, because that's what makes me nervous about doing these campground drive-throughs is like having problems like that. And then, you know, my time is so precious on these. I don't have time for problems, basically. So that's why I get the most worked up. Is like, is the GoPro gonna actually make it through one of these? You know, and it's not. All right, I had to get it out. All right, I'm doing an after lunch stroll here in Coulter Bay Village. I think I mentioned I finished filming Coulter Bay Campground. It was a big one, so to celebrate that milestone, I ate over here at the John Coulter's Ranch House restaurant, which I've eaten there before when I stayed at Coulter Bay. Got a burger and fries, which is what I wanted last night, but wasn't able to get. But I want to go down here to get a view of the Tetons for you across the water. I imagine it's going to be beautiful, and I need to walk that off now. So I take it this is Coulter Bay proper down here. I'm hoping we can get a good view. I assume we would. But you can already see the mountains behind the pine trees. And the clouds are blowing in like they did last summer in the afternoons. I do plan on doing a lot more exploring throughout the trip here. And we're gonna get these views a lot more from different vantage points. One of my favorite scenic views of all time, the Tetons. If you've never seen it in person, it's something else. Wow, that is something special, isn't it? A little hazy, but I think you get the idea. Little baby duckies. Don't be afraid, little duckies. I'm just coming down here to say hello. You still see all the, I assume, glaciers. I know there's some of those are glaciers. I assume right there. It's a big one. I know there's a roadside pull-off at one point where it points out all the glaciers, and we looked at those last year, but seems like there's more snow, or they seem bigger than they did the last time I was here. And I was here earlier, like in July last time. Now it's like in August, the first few days of August. So I don't know if my belly was ready to eat. I scarfed that burger down. It was a really good burger too. It's that like grilled, that char grilled flavor in the burger, and the fries were like battered fries. So good, and cooked well. But I think I'm just not used to eating that heavily, and I feel like I got a bomb in my stomach at this point. I'm ready for a nap after that, but trying to figure out my next play here. And I think I know what I probably should do, which is a slight rearrangement to the original plan, but basically, because Coulter Bay is so important to my CampVue stuff, and I had that GoPro hiccup towards the very end, pretty confident just reviewing the low-res footage via the app that it's all there. But I need to go back now and go through all of that, not only to back it up, but to validate that every camera and every angle actually recorded it. Because if not, and I need to go back and redo some of that, I need to plan for it. So I think the safe play is to skip one of the smaller campgrounds that I was gonna hit. I kind of drove all the way to Coulter Bay, drove south, and now we actually have to go back the way we came. I think I called out when we passed my quarters for the night up there, and there's another campground called Lizard Creek, which I should be able to, it's right off the main road. I could knock that out anytime. I was gonna hit Lizard Creek on the way back, but I think I'm better off going back, validating the footage for Coulter Bay, get my campground set up, do the drive-through of Flagg Ranch, Headwaters at Flagg Ranch where I'm staying, which is another sizable campground. And then from there we'll see if there's still a lot of time left. That's either some leisure time, or maybe even head out to get that other campground a little bit later. So with that said, let's get back to the truck, and we're gonna make our way to where we're staying tonight, and you can see my reaction. All right, we're back in the car. Now I gotta put the air conditioner on. It's hot. It says it's only 74 out there though. That can't be right. It is hot. I'm burning up. That sun is hot. So you go from like in the 30s, freezing, and then you very quickly in this region, although we did come down in elevation, so there's that, but man, is it hot. You deal with like some of the biggest extremes of temperature out this way, I would say. But anyway, in front of you should be that restaurant. We're gonna swing by it here. And yeah, I think I'm making the right play here for ultimate safety. These campground drive-throughs are 100% no fail. I must get them all. I must do them right. I also need to preview that footage from Coulter Bay because the street, like each loop, it's such a narrow street, so you can kind of see the post numbers on them, but like that was one of the most narrow, like each loop was just such a narrow road. So I previewed some footage. I think we're good. The only time where it doesn't really work is where, you know, in the RV sections where the RVs are like parked right off the road. So as you're driving by some of those sites, all you really see is the RV, like, and that's all you can see, which sometimes I find that helpful. And I think other people find that helpful because they can figure out if their rig's gonna fit by seeing other examples. So there's benefits to that, but we'll see. I did the best I could do, and I think it came out good. I think it came out great, but I'll only know when I can upload it to my iPad and actually scrub through it and see what we got. I like to do the hardest things first. I like to just go straight, just get the worst thing done. And, you know, I'm just kind of anxious to preview the footage so I can just put the check mark on getting that done, because that'll be a huge achievement. I'm so confident that it went correctly. And the issue I had was literally on the very last loop of filming it. Basically what happens, if you want to understand why I'm complaining, is I use the GoPro app to control 3 cameras on my roof simultaneously. Now I do have a remote where the remote works better in that you can actually click, you know, sync all of the GoPros, click, and then once they're all synced, click record, and they all start exactly at the same time, which is ideally what you'd want. The problem with that though is monitoring like what's actually going on. Like I can actually see previews on my phone of what those things see, so I can better know what's going on. The remote has a very limited digital display, so if one of them stops recording or there's a problem, it's not as evident and it's harder to diagnose problems. So I stopped using that remote once I started putting things on the roof. But the problem with this app though is it all connects via Bluetooth, and there's lots of connectivity issues. It doesn't take much for one of them to get disconnected for apparently no reason. It just decides, can't find GoPro, and that oftentimes will happen after it starts recording. So you've got one recording on the roof, but you really don't know the status of what's going on because it got disconnected, and now you can't stop the thing from recording because it's stuck. You can't reconnect once that happens, because typically you need to do like a hard reset on the GoPro. I find happens on this one a lot in the car, so I have to hold the power button down for however many seconds to do a hard reset, so then that pairing starts again. But the problem is this happens many times throughout the day, probably 10 to 15 times a day with as much as I record. So that's where I gripe, is that I get occasional issues with technology. Totally get it. I'm a technologist. I write software. I get it. But when it's that, if you were to compute the percentage of the time in a given day that it happens, that's where I find it to be a little unacceptable. And with each like release of a new GoPro, you'd think they'd improve things. And I bought a couple newer models for this trip because I had one break, a GoPro 10, I think it's bricked. So I keep going back for the punishment over and over again, because the result it creates is great. It's perfect for my use case. It's just having to endure the frustration and the constant like banging your head. And I know I'm not the only one. I watch other YouTubers complain about it. So that's really where I get confused why, you know, a company as big as GoPro, it seems like they should be able to do a better job, but I never see that or feel that improvement across versions. So I'm kind of just like always like, really? Again? So that's really why I get worked up about it sometimes. You probably don't see me get as worked up about it because we probably don't put that footage in, but I say a few choice things here and there. And that's really, I was thinking about it, that's probably the primary stress that I have recording these drive-thrus, is wondering, okay, are we gonna make it through the next 15 minutes without something going wrong? You know, it's just, I'm on a schedule here. So having to park, get on the roof of my truck, like reset things and blah, blah, blah. It's just a stressful experience. And then you're trying to pay attention to navigate through some of these wacky campgrounds with all the complex layouts, and it's just a lot more stressful than you might realize until you try it. It's crazy how fast things cloud up here. And it is hotter than 74, by the way. I think it just took a while for my thermometer to update. It's like more like in the mid 80s, so that's why I was like, it can't be 74 surely. But no sooner did I say that, exactly right then when I stopped recording and started re-recording, this one did it. It was disconnected from Bluetooth. It couldn't find it again, and I had to do a hard reset on it right as I'm talking about it. No lie. But anyway, I think what I'm gonna do here is make a beeline for this. It's just amazing how fast it clouds up out here, and I sense rain. I don't sense long, heavy rain, but just only like 3 miles away. Was not far from where I just was, and we were coming down out of the clouds and saw this beautiful view from going this direction back towards Yellowstone. So I thought I'd start recording some of this to show you the region that I am camping in here. Really won't get a view of the Tetons, but we're very close. Although I do see some rain bands. It looks like there might be rain that's not hitting the ground yet, but we'll find out. With my luck, it'll start raining right when I'm setting up my tent. All right, hopefully this is a continuation of really enjoying all of my campground experiences. I don't have any any significant complaints, really no complaints at all about anywhere I've stayed. There's a river right here. Actually, I bet you I could fish right there. And I think whatever that river is, I didn't notice the sign.
Turn left.
It might be on our off-road route that I'm going to be doing tomorrow, if all goes according to plan. Flagg Ranch. So we're 0.5 miles away from, I guess, what it says is the campground. So let's see. I'm going to guess registration is going to be to the left in that building, I'm guessing. Let's see. Lodging, check-in, reservations. All right, so I guess we go to the lodge.
In a quarter mile, turn left.
I assume we go to the lodge. So they have a lodge here, and I assume this is where all of the services and laundry and all that stuff is. Grocery and convenience store. Nice, and gas. Nice. So I don't know what this is all about there. I think the parking's on the other side of the building somehow.
Head northwest toward Headwaters Drive.
I ain't sure here. Oh,
in 300 feet, turn right on
there's a
Headwaters
different
Drive.
thing here. I take it this is the campground right here. Let's see. All right, we're all checked in. I got my little campground map. We're here tonight and tomorrow. I actually asked the guy, I was like, so where are we on, any of the national park land, or are we in between in a no man's land? And it's that. We're not in either Yellowstone nor Grand Teton. However, he did say this area. I'll look at Onyx and see what the actual land is classified as. He says that NPS regulations apply in this like no man's land, or what that's my term, no man's land. That wasn't theirs. I don't know what the official term is, but I am correct that the dirt roads that I want to take are all national forest. So basically I can fly my drone legally in areas that I want to travel and maybe get some cool footage of the mountains. So that's cool. I'm in site 702. And that's where we're going now, a tent-only site. Seems like it's in a back corner, surrounded by other sites, so I don't know how close together they're gonna be. Probably par for the course, I'm guessing. But so far, I've been pleased with everything, and everybody's been so nice and so cool on my whole travels. I've not run into any rowdy groups at all. So I think we go left here, right? He said it's one way. We'll go this way. I guess I can kind of study the layout too here. You could see on the left, there are all these small, like one-room cabins. Those you can rent on recreation.gov also. This looks like it's going to be a humdinger to do my drive-through on, I'll tell you that. I might actually tomorrow maybe postpone this, do my off-roading thing, and then we'll see. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. So we're in 702. Because this looks like one of those kind of complicated layouts that's going to take a few passes to do. So I think we're back here somewheres. 705. Oh, there I am, right there. So do I have two driveways then? Or is it this one? I'm guessing it's this. 702. Oh, this guy's like letting his dog crap in my these are quite close together actually. This kind of sucks. I'm gonna back in here actually and see. I don't know which one's my site, so let's kind of decipher this together. Here's the map. We're right here. It's hard to see, but 702. So I think, so I've got 703 next to me. 704 is to the right of 703, and then 701 I believe would be that guy right over there. So if I use the picnic tables as a guide, 701, me, 702, 703, 703's bear box, my bear box, yet my driveway, I believe. You guys would agree, right? 702. So my question then is, whose driveway is this one? Because it says 703, but they're on that side. It almost looks like it's, I just don't know. I think it's a moot point though. I'm fine parking where I did. I got no problem with that. It's really just where do I set my tent up for maximum privacy. And if that's 701, this has got to be 702. So I'm thinking I set up back here in this little group of trees, which is unfortunately right next to the main road. So, you know, this is good to show you guys this. So I think that's the main thing we just came on. So we're going to be hearing traffic noise, probably mainly through the day, but I'm sure at night too. So what's your guys' opinion? You think I've deciphered this correctly? It's gotta be. I don't know what else it could be. I think it's time to just set up the tent and get it done. With my luck, it'll start raining right when I'm setting up my tent. I had to hustle, like it started raining right when I started setting up the tent. Exactly when I took the tent out, brought it over, the rain starts. So the race becomes to get the rain fly on before the interior of the tent gets wet. So I was successful, but this exact same scenario, I think has happened to me twice now in this trip, where I arrive and then we get the rain, like exactly at the same time. I don't know. I'll take it if that's my bad luck for the trip, manifesting itself here and instead of other ways, I'll take it. But man, am I getting tired of this game. I think it's gonna let up like any minute now, if not already be done. So just like the other times, I have to race it, get it done, and then basically I have to, they're putting up they have the old reserve sign up there. But basically I think, sorry, there's people that just pulled up in front of me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. So basically I think I'm all set. I got the tent set up. I haven't moved the stuff inside the tent yet, waiting for the rain to be done, and then I got to put my tarp in front of the tent. I skipped that step in a rush to get the main tent up, so my entryway needs to have tarp coverage so I don't track mud into the tent, basically. Then we're done. So, woo! Sorry, when I was chatting in the truck, I was distracted because I think the team that puts the reserve signs on the things were putting the updated ones there. So I asked them, I was like, I want to be sure I'm in the right spot, because that's 701, and I was correct. This is indeed me, 702, so where I put my tent is exactly right. She thinks this area might be for use by 703. Totally cool with that, don't need the space. So that's all of theirs. So I'm kind of this like right up the center and kind of offset back in the trees here. So, seeing as though I'm gonna be out and about most of the day and I really just come back here at night to sleep, I think I'll be fine. And usually road noise doesn't bother me. And at nighttime, I suspect it's gonna be a lot more tame in that respect. So I don't think that's gonna bother me at all. I mean, people drive through campsites all night, or campgrounds too, so. But anyway, you could see where I put my tent. I don't know if I'm gonna be making a fire. Usually I like to have my tent further away so it doesn't get all smoked out. Depends on which way the wind's blowing, but that's the main route. See, every time I walk back here, the rain starts immediately. All it takes is for me coming back here. But I still have to hunker this side down. But we're almost there. Almost there. Just so long as everybody's like well-behaved and quiet, no problem with me. I can tolerate a little bit of crowded quarters, but I would say out of all of the campsites on my trip, this one is the most congested. Interestingly, on recreation.gov, I think the picture of the site made it look like it's not really got neighbors, so that's why I'm doing CampVue. The exact reason why. So you can get at that intel that you need to make a good decision. All right, friends, it's later in the afternoon, about 7, I think. A couple hours of sunlight should be left, but I'm gonna just leave my campsite for a bit. Pretty much once it started raining earlier, I went inside the tent and just started backing up today's previewed and validated that all the footage was awesome. So it actually came out great. So every single thing should be as it should, despite my worries earlier of the GoPro acting weird. But I'm looking for a trail. I think I found it here. The gentleman that checked me in said there's a trail that goes to the river if I wanted to fish. But what does that say? No through traffic, so I can't take Slim down there, but we're gonna actually do the easy thing, I think, here. This is the campground, by the way. Pretty formulaic and cookie cutter, actually. I would say my least favorite campground layout of the trip so far. It's gonna be a real pain to try to film this too. A real pain. It's just row after row after row, but so there's no loops are easier to film basically, but we're riding on the outside road here. I don't look forward to that one. It was supposed to be today, but weather delay. So luckily tomorrow, I'm here tonight and tomorrow night, so I don't have to change camps tomorrow. And I only had an early morning ride through the national forest scheduled. So that would be, we're gonna look for fishing spots. I've got some offline maps to go with it. So this is my first time really setting eyes on this campground here. Headwaters at Flagg Ranch is the name of it. I need water here. Ooh, bumpy. Excuse me, but right now I saw like river access out on the main road right down the street. So I just want to go survey the river actually, and then just see what the fishing opportunities look like. How shallow will it be? Will it be worth my time? I do have my fishing gear with me, but the weather's been pretty crappy, so I looked at the forecast. We're good. I think it's supposed to be sunny all day tomorrow, and I think the main rain is past, I'm hoping. We'll go through the Site 628 to get around these folks. All right, little boy, watch out. But my main goal here is to get out of the campground first. Then we'll meet by the river, in the van down by the river. I'm also curious if we can see my tent from the main road. I imagine we must, because I hear people driving by. It's getting quieter though as the evening approaches. It's 6:41 p.m. so it looks a lot later than it actually is, I think, because of the cloud cover out here. But anyway, Coulter Bay is done, and I validated the footage. I backed it up to the iPad. All I have left to do really is to back it up to the final external storage device I have for everything. And I think I've got a few clips from yesterday, and then the rest, and I got some from today done. So pretty close to being caught up on my video backing uppers. So tomorrow should just be fun for once. We're no chasing well, I do have a couple campgrounds to film tomorrow. So if I got them done today, then I had the whole afternoon free planned just to chill if I needed it. But I figured I chilled this afternoon because of the rain, so I'm flip-flopping. But that's why I schedule like a couple days in each location, is to account for unexpected events like rain. All right, let's see if we can see my big yellow tent. It's pretty thick tree. Oh, I see it. I see it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's my tent right there. I mean, probably like freaking like 50 to 75 feet from the road. I think I got the site closest to the road. Oh well, I'm not gonna let that sour an otherwise amazing time. And yeah, so I guess you can kind of see how close the river actually is. Looks like it's clearing up down by the Tetons. If it clears up more, maybe we have to go drive a little bit further and get some views for you. But really, I just want to check out river access, see how it looks. I'm not gonna go far. And then from there, I don't know. We might, oh geez Louise, there's a drop off that I didn't see right there. There's a lot of potholes over here. Oops, I'm blocking the road, I think. I'm not supposed to go down there. I guess you could drive down there if you wanted. I don't see why not. There's actually like little parking spots. I'm trying to think of a good way to do this without crowding others. I'm just gonna park way the heck over here away from everybody, and they can just kiss my behind if they don't like it. This is grizzly country though that we're definitely in now, so I should be carrying my bear spray. I'm not gonna go far, but if I hike trails like from the campsite to here, probably a good idea. So I probably should have that on hand going forward for the next few days, especially where I'm gonna be going. All right, making our way down here to the river. I also can't wander too far because I didn't bring like a waterproof bag in case it starts to rain. I have a camera bag I can put my camera in and then run. So I need to be within running distance. Oh, there's a boat launch here too. I think the guy said a great place to go is where this meets up with the Snake River, I think is what he said. Oh yeah, this looks good. I'm ideally looking for good shore fishing, and it seems like I actually finally found a good spot. You can see there's a lot of people here. There's room spread out, and there's lots of room down this ways. So I would say this looks perfect for my needs. Here's a little spot that we can survey. It's kind of hard to see with a reflection right now like that, although it makes for a great video footage, doesn't that? This looks a little shallower down this way than down by the bridge. I can see rocks about not quite halfway across, then the glare is too much, but so I'd say upstream where everybody's fishing, that's probably why they're there, is the best bet. This does look like a fine place though to hang out late afternoon. Hopefully tomorrow I will have time to do so. If you're new, by the way, and haven't seen other episodes, I am trying to teach myself how to fish using AI to help instruct me, and the internet and YouTube videos. And I'm using just a regular rod and reel, like with a bail on it, like a bail system, which is kind of new to me. I used to fish as a kid, and a teenager, and then I stopped, and then now I'm 50, and now I guess I had cancer, and now this is one of the things where I keep telling myself every trip, I want to try to fish, I want to try to fish. Well, it's time to try to fish. Even though my future looks bright at this point, you learn that life is short sometimes when you go through something rough. And that's really what the fishing thing is about. I've always wanted to get back into it, but as a solo traveler, I'm just teaching myself at this point. So my strategy is, I think I've mainly like spinner lures on this. I don't know if I have any rooster tails. So I know enough to know what works with trout. But so far I haven't had luck because I've been camping near streams, but really shallow rapids, and I haven't had the proper time to do it. So I heard a noise back there. I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm being overly paranoid, I know. But I'm thinking if I cross this shallow bit tomorrow or something and went out onto that island off to the left, it looks pretty slow moving and maybe a little deeper. So that's my strategy, is finding some slower moving, deeper stuff. And everything I've been fishing in, I can see the bottom. So I've mainly just been practicing my casting up at this point. So it's kind of a new concept using that bail system. So I got that down, and I think I've got the improved clinch knot down. The last lure I tied, I haven't lost it yet on snags or anything, and it looks legit. So I think I finally nailed that. So now it's time to catch something is the goal. This seems to have promise, and it's really cool. The bridge seems like maybe the best spot. So maybe if I go over there sometime when there's nobody there, we'll have some luck. I feel lucky down there for some reason. Let's go back and go on the other side of the bridge. The people that were here by the bridge have moved on. I moved down that way, I guess. But yeah, this is much better. It gets deeper, like right about, I don't know, like 15 feet out. And then I think this might be a much more promising spot. We'll mark that. There's quite a few folks upstream there fishing too. All right, I think I'm satisfied with the scouting mission. I'm now convinced this is the perfect place for me to come try my hand out. But I want to finish this video up, and I don't want to get started on it today because I have a lot of things of preparation to do tonight to make tomorrow successful. So, but I think the off-road route, I need to study my map tonight. It's one example of something I need to do is I think it might actually follow this for a while and go into the national forest. So my hope is the deeper in we go, you might even find some much better spots that are a lot more isolated and out there is my hope. And also my hope is we get to a point where I can see the Tetons from, I think I said this earlier, from inside the national forest, so I can get airborne and try to get some footage legally of the Tetons, since I'm not going to fly inside the national park because that's a big no-no. And I think those folks there are on the trail that go back to my campground being on the other side of those trees. Not far now that we drove it. Probably like a quarter of a mile maybe. I'm gonna make a bet, a small bet to myself, that there's less people out and about at different stops overlooking the Tetons right now. Saw a couple good spots to stop at actually down the road from here. Being that it's cloudy now and later, a lot of people probably abandoned ship, I imagine. And there's that drop off right there. There's some big potholes in this region. No problem for my truck Slim though. He's a pro at that. Kind of want to just be fishing right now, to be honest. It's really what I want to do. And I know there'll be a couple of you saying, dude, you got to just do it. And I hear you, I do. But it's when if you had the full flavor of what I'm doing and experienced every moment of every day, I think I'd be forgiven. It's a lot to do, but we're gonna make it happen tomorrow. It's all about preparation. If you get everything prepared the night before, get things charged and ready, and you get up early and you start early, you can do whatever the heck you want. No problem. I just want to get some Teton views. Those beautiful, beautiful Grand Tetons. I think they're my favorite mountains in the US just because they're so photogenic and just what they're named for, basically. They just kind of pop up. They're abrupt, very steep, and the vantage points you have to view them are second to none. Like they're just begging to be photographed. I mean, it's not like that huge, or that long of a range, I don't think, at least the main part that everybody thinks about. But it packs in a lot in the area that it's in. Probably not the best lighting right now as it's kind of gray and overcast, but my hope is behind it seems to be brightening up a bit. And actually there's nobody right here, so I figure why not take advantage of this really quick. I don't know if the car behind me is gonna come. If he does, I might just, I'm shy about these moments. I mean, how often does this ever happen at this park? Like never? All right, it's one place where you're allowed to take a selfie without feeling dumb. Maybe a YouTube thumbnail, I don't know. One of those dumb ones. I'm right here in Grand Teton. We're about to cross over the barrier. Or as I like to say, Teton Grande. That sounds better to me. I also left the camera rolling in the truck. I'm waving at the truck right now, saying hi. I thought that would be kind of funny to have the two different angles so you could see what I look like giving myself a selfie. It's kind of cool at the first, I just thought of this, I guess like one of the first views of these mountains you get, they put the sign like right here. It's like kind of like, welcome to Grand Teton. And then it's like, boom. Like a big smack in the face. Although, now that I say that and talked it up, you can't see the Teton Grande at the time, for the time being. But you will soon. I think there's a big lake over here. And that's what where I'm hoping people have left, because earlier it was pretty crowded, but there is like a spectacular view, a spot, and I'm just hoping like life is gonna, basically I paid my dues. Actually, I think the sun actually is starting to shine on the mountains. I was just like, you know, but the weather's been messing with me every day, where I truly have been setting up my tent and the rain starts right when I'm taking it out of the bed of my truck. So then I like play a game like, can I beat it and get the rain fly on before it starts raining? Otherwise it's gonna rain like inside my tent. It's just a mesh top basically, and every time I barely make it. So it's like nature is on my side and simultaneously against me. But my thought is, hey, maybe it's making me pay the price of admission that way, so because it's gonna give us such a good show now. It's my positive thinking. It would probably be slightly improper of me, but I'm gonna just do it anyway. I'm gonna, instead of referring it to the Grand Tetons, we're gonna refer it to as the Biggins the rest of the show. I don't know why I found that funny. It's really dumb. It's getting dumber by the minute up in here. All right, I'm ready to pull over anytime. I think maybe one of the good spots is up this way. As I see a break in the trees. There's a really long break in the trees wherever the spot that looked appealing to me was. It's probably more than one, but I need to slow down and get ready to pull over if it is. This seems promising. Yep, this should be it. There's room, so we're gonna take advantage of this here. Other than the road noise behind me, it ain't too shabby, is it? There are much better views to be had than this, but this is really starting to become more of the iconic side, and the mountains kind of abruptly start back this way. I have a feeling if I had more time and I would go further, and the storm is passing this direction, I wonder if sunset might be a spectacular sight tonight with some drama in the sky, but I can't be a sunset chaser today. I'm almost positive that all that white stuff up on the mountain are glaciers. There is a glacier point, I think it might even be called, where they point them out to you and the names of them. But it looks kind of like that stuff, and I'd be very surprised if we're not looking at glaciers, or at least a couple glaciers. I'm gonna head down here a little bit further. Wow, I wonder if the water cut this thing this steep like that. That is a steep drop to get down on that beach. Not happening on tonight's show. We got all these beautiful little flowers kind of lining it, and look, I do think actually we might be in for something. I might have to wait here for a few. It just feels like it's gonna illuminate any time now. See, these are the moments I enjoy in national parks, are these rare moments. I'm the only one here now at this overlooked officially. And we're just walking along the beach here at Grand Tetons, you and I, and having a good old time, hopefully. You guys are. That'd be easier. Somebody made some steps out of the big rocks down there. If I wanted to go down there, I guess I could, but I'm not gonna. But anyway, you know what I mean? We're here and we get to admire this view all to ourselves. I mean, it's art. It's a great way to end what was otherwise kind of a hectic day. A successful day, a day where I achieved a big goal and got one of the biggest, I think the biggest campground on my trip done. A big stress off my back. The footage looked great. So I want to burn this into my mind before bedtime. Well, folks, I think this is where we part ways on this episode. I want to thank you once again for coming with me on these. Hopefully you're enjoying them and getting a glimpse into the whole CampVue Northern Run 2025. A little behind the scenes, a little bit of adventure is my hope. But anyway, we're gonna see more of those in the next few days, so no worries. You'll get your money's worth by the end of it all. So anyway, thanks for joining, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.